music, culture, politics, society podcast, interviews, movie reviews, and more. Live Sundays at 5:30 p.m. on the Film Review Live channel. Subscribe.
Hi, this is Bernadette Stannis, Thelma from Good Times, and you're watching the Film Review.
Listen, people, this is another great episode of the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, society, podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Crazy Dee.
I'm Tracey.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, society. And do we have a great show for you today?
Yes.
First of all, we have not one, but two MCs that are prolific with their music production, with their video output. One is from Cleveland, Ohio, and one is from California, right? NASA Boy Entertainment. He was formerly known as Phoenix Mother Jones, but now he goes by Black Ryan. We're going to be talking to him shortly. And then we're going to be talking to Mo Media. That's No One Has Us Like Us. Yes. That's Ceemo. We're going to be talking to him too, right? But first, we got to get on the first things, which is what's happening in the news, right? We got to talk about that. So let's bring this down real quick and let's bring this up. Of course, we always talk every week about the American black politic and the blurbs of the week. So, first of all, how was your week?
You know, it's been another week of just trying to figure out what they're going to do with either restructuring or this reform. The definition of reform, what do they mean? Well, what we need to do is just, like you said, from the ground up, they need to restructure the police department. They need to push policies. When a policeman commits a crime, he should not only be fired. Again, like with the incident with Tamir Rice, right? So that police officer was fired from Independence Police Department in Ohio, and he went to Cuyahoga County's police department, the Cleveland Police Department.
Right.
So, you know, let's not just fire the policemen. How about taking away their ability to work in law enforcement? I mean, I don't even want them as a security guard in a club, in a bar, in a high school, college, nothing. They shouldn't be able to practice. And then how about arresting them for the crimes they commit, right? So that's how my week has been going. You know, it's just kind of like, I'm just so tired of them. So, well, what should we do? What should we do? We know what we need to do, right? So luckily, you know, I've seen different council people in various cities and a few, you know, other politicians. They are trying to push laws to hold policemen accountable. So yes, that's how my week has been going.
Yeah, it's been going crazy. It's been more murders,
right?
More death,
right?
I mean, it's ridiculous. Right. More murders, more death, right? Ridiculous, right? Yeah. So, what interested me this week, the memes that interested me this week.
Okay.
Right. Let's look at those real quick. All right, as we bring this up. Now, what interested me this week, there were a couple.
Okay.
There's one called Hit the N-word babies.
Oh.
Right? Back in the early 19th century, you know, these animals were just, they would have the mother, the black mother, breastfeed the baby.
Right.
Put the baby up on the platform. You know, like how you go to the amusement park and they have the games where you throw the balls to get the little QB ball, QB dolls.
Yeah.
Well, they would have a little baby set up there, and these animals would throw the ball, hit the baby in the stomach, and they would really enjoy if they were able to hit the baby in the stomach, and the milk would come out.
Sick.
The baby would throw up the milk.
Sick.
Right?
Sick. They're
Right?
just sick.
You've heard of Brooklyn zoos, right? The
Sick.
Brooklyn Zoo. That's what old DB was really talking about in his record. He was talking about because in the Brooklyn Zoo back in the early 19th century, they had black people in cages like animals. They were the attraction. So that's what old DB was talking about when he said Brooklyn Zoo, right? Now, another one that interested me was one about which I don't have up, but one about, where is it? And we're babies. You've effed with the last generation. I give kudos to this generation that is out there now, you know, because I had posted on the page, I posted Rage Against the Machines, Killing in the Name of, right? And I said that was we see unfinished business from the 90s taking place in the 2020s with this generation, right? And so really excited for what this generation is doing, because I've seen the no justice, but I haven't seen the no peace until now. And just like the lawyer for Rashard Brooks, Justin Miller said, I care more about the family and the person than I do for the property. Right? They come to find out that the property that's being destroyed is actually being destroyed by white folks, right? But they're trying to blame it on the blacks. You can't.
Yeah, because I saw with the steal of the woman. Or was it a man?
It was a woman.
Yeah, it was with a white woman, right?
And she burnt up the Wendy's, right?
So they have proof.
Probably some of that Antifa people, right?
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, that's cool. You know, they're doing the dirty work because they got to put some blood and some skin in the game.
Right.
Anyway, right? So anyway, we've seen the death of Rashard Brooks at the hands of Atlanta police, and we have somebody who's been in Atlanta who can really tell us about Atlanta once we bring him up, right? And then George Floyd, 46. Rashard Brooks was 27. And then Breonna Taylor, 26 years, killed while sleeping by the police, who came in with a no-knock warrant.
Right. Oh, didn't they pass a?
Yeah, they're passing a law in Kentucky right now. But the boyfriend was busting back.
Yeah.
And he survived it.
Yeah.
Had she been up and had she been busting back, she probably would have survived it too. So those are the things. And then the last thing, which is very important to what we talk about every week here, right?
Yeah.
We got Ceemo. Okay, look, people. So what we
get in the name of a young man that was hung.
The young man that was hung. Right. Oh yeah. Find him real quick. We'll talk about that. But the last one that caught my eye was one that we talked about back in episode 115.
Robert Fuller
hung outside of the city hall, right?
Yeah.
And
California.
And they say they don't know who did it, but it's right outside of Palmdale, California.
Well, then there was a witness, right?
Yeah, it was a witness, older gentleman, witness, right?
Older black man.
We talked about this in 115. We talked about how let me see if I can bring.
He didn't witness him hanging himself.
He didn't witness him.
He witnessed seeing, was it officials?
Officials, that's right. Hanging him, right?
Right.
That's what he witnessed, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's bring everybody. Let me set everybody up here. So this is what we saw what we talked about in episode. What I'm doing is I'm arranging the people so I can bring them in, and they look good when we bring them in here. Oh, Ceemo's got his little child with him.
Where?
Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. He brought his little son to sit in with us. You know what I mean?
So cute.
So that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Let's see. You know, the hip hopper that's a family man. How about that, people?
Congratulations.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring that up in 1 second here. Okay. So look. Okay. All right. So look. So we just finished talking about this, and the media picks up what we talk about weeks later. Yeah. But they don't talk about it the way that we talk about it, because we told you how it was a combination of the patty rollers here in the United States, and how it went out to South Africa, how it went out to Germany, and then what Germany did to Israel, to the Jewish people, then now the Israelis do to the Palestinians, and the Israelis train the United States police officers now. So when you see that knee in the neck, just like what you see in this image right here, you see the knee in the neck, that is from Palestine, right? That's from Palestine. And they cover about it, how the United States is being trained, the police departments are being trained by Israeli forces. But they don't tell you that it originated with the patty rollers that were the slave patrols. So go back to episode 115 and we tell you all about it and we lay that out. So now, people, without further ado, we're going to bring in our guests for the day, and let's see how this looks as I bring them in. There we go. So Ceemo said he's gonna be right back, but we got Black Ryan. How you doing, Black Ryan?
I'm blessed. How y'all doing today?
Good, all right, good. Let's get rid of this one and let's move your name down so it's not blocking your face. There we go. Let's move that. Oh, we can't do it like this. All right, now that's gonna be better. Yeah. There we go. That's better. All right, here we go. All right. So how you doing today?
Man, I'm blessed, man.
Oh, coming
been
from
working
Cleveland,
on schoolwork.
Coming from schoolwork in school in Cleveland State University.
In college.
People. Yeah, in college, right?
Yeah.
So,
believe that.
What we're gonna do right now, while we're waiting for Ceemo to come back, is we're gonna introduce the people to who Black Ryan is again. Coming from NASA Boy Entertainment. And let me tell you, he is prolific. And this video right here is going to show you what we're talking about his prolificness, right? Black Ryan. So here we go. Check this out right here.
Yo, my tech made of steel. My tech is for real. My tech is the label you respect in the field. My tech is the deal. My check's in the mail. My bread makes sandwiches. Yours moldy and stale. We survive when you fail. Survive through the hell. I'm illmatic like Nas. It ain't hard to tell. Pedal to the metal. Candle in the wind. Phoenix Jones daddy. Damn it's him again. Never gon' stop. Never gon' flop. Came from the bottom. Gotta rock the top. From the Clio to the CO. I'm the only double O hero. That's my city that I claim. Bang, bang, rap LeBron James. In Atlanta, niggas know me. Fat, skinny, that's my homie. I'm a Mac, pretty Tony. So Diddy, Nicky, pimpy, gotta keep it real like Big and Pie. Jigging knives till them boxing gloves win the prize. Till the day my verbal enterprise. Get the jersey in the rafters, hang 'em in the skies. Yeah. I'm a rider for the cause, got something for the bitches that's right inside my drawers, man. It's so gangsta black, makes a gang of snaps. Tech set, THC, no changing that. Got more black t-shirts than Dr. Dre, and like that late registration, you can cop the yay from your homeboy. Trust me, it's on, boy. Point your ass in the right direction for them zones, boy. That be the Clio, Cleopatra like the river now. Cleveland, Ohio, let's get it now. Spit a sound, sadistic rounds. Just to see some smiles on the faces of his kids again. So Rev do wrong, told bruh do right. Before we left, he threw some bucks in the tire. Decided less shucking and jiving. More production, less crying. Sacrifice and try again to get it right. Looked in the eyes of his wife and said, I love your life. If you would live for me once, I would die for you twice. Drove heavy, blow confetti. Pesos on the track, man. Hoes ain't ready. I got a girl in my world, I call her Cocaine Betty. And she used to blow jobs, but not a dope game steady. It's propane deadly, spark it up, so train medley. Have your girl popping and locking like, oh yeah, invitation. Bomb hit. My patience don't got no conscience. My safety don't got no common sense. Go figure. No one thing, the flow is no hoe, nigga. Chicken heads beware, no gold digger. Stairway to heaven, just some pennies for your thoughts. Brainiac 5, I need the driver up north. I drop him off right where I find him. Remind him, Ryan is little king, Prince Akeem, your highness. And the shines of the timeless. P is for free, that's for John. Check. NASA boy on a different planet. I got a different vantage point from which I paint my canvas. Favorite stance is the praying mantis. Private dancers look like Tina Turner, take advantage. Scantless like bone, damaged typhoon, hurricane monsoon, gorilla in your mama womb. Love it when you please me. Baby, take it easy. Love it when you please me. We can do it all night. Pass me the green, I need some weed with my Hennessy. Pass me the clean, I keep a beam on my enemies. 88 and 93, the grass is blue, the sky is green. What's mine is all my eyes can see. Astronomy's economy, the stars counting up. All the diamonds in the bling. I'm so high in the sky, I'm combined with these shiny things. Ryan and the team, NASA boy got a dream, and it rises to the top like the cask in the cream. I don't condone cream, get it. Yeah, people. So that is
you went
none
back.
other than Black Ryan, right? Cleveland, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? He is prolific. Let me tell you something. If you go over to, not right now, but after the show, you go over to Bandcamp and purchase every single one of his CDs. He's got over 20 CDs between original and mixtapes. 20 CDs. And he's constantly producing and constantly putting out more product all of the time, right? We got more product coming in 2020, so we're going to be talking to him. Now, people, sitting in now is Ceemo. How you doing, Ceemo?
What's up, Crazy Dee and Tracey? How you guys doing? I'm all good. Just handling daddy duties. I had to, handle my thing, come right back, put him down. So all is well, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. You guys are going to hear him in the background.
Okay. So here we go. So, people, Mo Times Media. No one's got us like us. This is Ceemo. And the reason why Ceemo is on, another prolific MC in the game, and we're going to show you who he is right now. Then we're going to come back and talk to both of these brothers. Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
I don't condone bullshit. Wasn't raised in that pulpit, but I know motherfuckers pray for a quick lick. Now what that mean? If you look up to the sky, asking clouds, oh why an innocent man died. He got shot 9 times, handcuffed and read his rights. If the police against me, how I'm supposed to live right, huh? Now we don't care what the news say. Only so much lies that we could tolerate, or distractions of what they put on the front page. Nigga, we ain't gullible, this ain't school days. Cause I don't understand why you divert us from the truth. A killing caught on tape, yeah, we saw the fucking proof. Innocent gets raped by the devil in those boots. What is powerful God, what the earth is crumbling out the roots. And everything you earn, people want for free, but they don't know, see. So what they need from me, you only catch when my camera phone leaks, shawty, take a seat. Niggas acting funny, trying to plot on me. Jot down anything they think is swearing that shit is money, stupidity. I swear this one is for my city, even though they wasn't fucking with me when I thought it out shitty. I got over beg and gimme, thanks to those who waited on me, even if you listened out of pity. Now I'm hitting new prime, I got a smart mind. I swear these past 4 years been grind time. This all takes time, that's why I don't mind. Just give me 4 more years and we could all dine. Watch me bend that Mozzie when I'm 23. I can't help but feel alone, I'm better days. I'm creeping on your Snapchat while getting paid. You better stop counting me out as just an X-Man. To my jeans, for my jeans, make a better me. Alley-oop, in the coupe, we could be free. If I do what I say, would you still leave? Turn a prince to a king, my soul queen. And how you even know that a nigga like me never went through hard time for you? And do you even care that a nigga like me almost wanted just to pull the trigger? I drink the liquor and let it get you. Cuss you out, no one ever need you. Feel it. You had it all planned out, huh? You gon' make me reap every ounce of pain, huh? Let your feelings out, let your feelings out, huh? You built a wall that I couldn't even climb, love. Don't you know one time don't ruin everything? Still you went into my crib, ruined everything. I was just a young nigga taking anything, but I only saw your hand with my wedding ring. Now you, shit is scary now. It's getting scary now. Call this new nigga in. Don't play going now. Shit is scary now. Shit is scary now. Since 21, I've been savage. That's without the cloud. That's what's to find happiness in that misery, dog. Climb along, you get strong, alone, whoop your pack, dog. No co-sign, but that rollie all mine. I can make a clone and still wouldn't have the time. I mean, I'm taking risks, we taking rips, you know what?
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you guys.
That's Ceemo and Black Ryan, right? And you know, I always search out and find talent. And I remember with Black Ryan, he would come into the store. Right? But then I had the event over there on Cedar and what is that?
Was it Platinum?
Taylor. Platinum Dreams.
Yes.
And he came in and he lit
it
up. The place.
He sure did.
And he's putting a mixtape up now, people. You see that? He's putting up a mixtape now because he said, this is my latest shit. He lit up the scene, right? And he would come I think it was every Tuesday. We would do it every Tuesday, spotlighting new talent. And then from there, we moved it over into the store and had people come in and perform in the store. We would film it and put it up for people to see. That's when it was 240p. That's all YouTube had. But now it's 480 and 720 and 1080 and 4K. You know what I mean? And then Ceemo, I was doing freelance work over at the Black Run radio station here, and Ceemo came in and he was talking about he was hip hop. You know, he was a rapper, right? And I was like, well, let me hear some of your stuff. And the dude pulled out a video. He went on his phone and pulled out a video, right? That video that you heard, right, people? And I'm like, this dude got videos. And then when I researched him, I found out he's got video after video after video. And I'm like, wow, these dudes are putting in work, right? And so unlike so many who are just looking, who back then, because we were transitioning out of that time of people looking for deals into the time where people were becoming independents. These dudes were constantly putting things out. I could tell by Ceemo coming here because we moved here in 2012, right? And so seeing Ceemo a couple of years later, and then of course knowing Black Ryan back home and putting out those mixtapes and being able to jam situations and jam clubs and rap and get in there and be admired by his peers. That's something, right? That's something. So that's why I have both of them on, because in particular, just like a couple of weeks ago for my birthday celebration, I have on MCs that actually are independents and actually produce their own music and actually really have an understanding of packaging, of promotion, of marketing, of what it takes to be in the hip hop grind. Right? And that's why I have these two dudes on. I have much respect for them because they actually get it done. Right? And so that's who we bring on the show, are people who are actually out there on the grind making it happen. So not to be too long-winded, but how are y'all doing? And you know, what's going on in each prospective city with the COVID-19, and how is that hindering the push to promote and market hip hop music? Who wants to go first?
You can go ahead, Black Ryan.
I can go first.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of music has moved to the internet. The hand-to-hand days is over. So, like, even if I did have CDs, they'd be moving. Like right now, people want electronics.
Okay.
They're tied to their phone. They're tied to their computer. So, realistically, the whole grind has been over the internet. Unless you're doing shows out here, unless you're missing out on major show money, then everybody's grind is on the internet.
So the COVID is not
until
really...
you have something popping. No, if you're gonna be hot if you hot, period.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that people ain't got nothing to do but look on the internet. A lot of people had to stay in the house, and all the entertainment value that they had on internet. So that's why you see a lot of people coming out with streaming sites and like Twitch for gamers. Everybody's turned into a form of currency.
Mm-hmm. And what about you?
Really,
Ceemo?
it's just all streaming. Like, so.
What about you?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so basically, you're in Las Vegas as well, so COVID changed so much, it's like Black Ryan said, people are just online now with nothing to do and looking at things and looking at music, so now it's time to show your craft, online. So with that being said, it has kind of been shitty that there's no live shows to go to, no live venues to go network, things like that, and especially, I feel like at this certain moment in time, like trying to promote music for people on the grind, on the come up, it's a little skewed because we got the Black Lives Matter, we got police brutality, we got justice being served in different states where people are just so passionate about it right now, and I just kind of feel like that when COVID first came out, it was perfect time to just keep pushing, doing IG Live, doing Vimeo, doing everything. And at this point in time, it's a little skewed to push music, but I encourage everybody to to still stay on the grind because once things get reformed, once we get justice that we need, life is gonna go back to a different type of normal. We'll be back to dealing with COVID, but different type of normal. So music has definitely been top priority. People just gotta listen and look for it because right now everyone's doing other things. It's crazy out here.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think you hadn't come in yet, so I don't think that you saw this in our blurb. So we're gonna go back here. Back in the early 1900s, you've heard of the Brooklyn Zoo. That's what ODB was talking about when he put out the song Brooklyn Zoo, where there were actually human zoos where they had black people in zoos in Brooklyn, right? But they had this thing in the early 19th century called Hit a N-Word Baby, right? And so what they would do is they would have a mother breastfeed, right? So the mother would breastfeed, and then they would sit the baby out. You know how you go to the amusement park now and you throw the baseballs to hit the bottles down to get a little doll or a little toy or whatever? Well, they would have the baby set up there full of milk, and the harder they could hit the baby in the stomach, the baby would throw up the milk, and that was their entertainment.
Sick.
Oh yeah, it's a damn shame. Sorry. It's a damn shame. It's Jesus Christ.
And so, I know that you have a little one, right? And these are you know how black people talk about their ancestors, right? Well, those were their ancestors, and these are the same people today. Just like Rage Against the Machine had that song out back in '92, you know, talking about killing in the name of, and they said the same people who are who work forces are the same one that burn churches, that burn crosses, right? And so, what do you think about it? Because I read in your writing that you wanted to get into this, so I said, well, let's get into this before we get back into the hip hop a little bit. Let's talk about the current event. What do you feel like that even from a little child, a little baby, newborn, maybe 1 or 2 toddlers, they're sitting them up there to you can be fully grown, and it seems like the value on you is less than their own.
Yeah, shit is horrible. Yeah, it definitely it gets me riled up, you know, because like you said, just picture anytime now I picture something happening to a child, I'm gonna picture it happening to my child. So it's definitely something that just really makes my blood boil and kind of, you know, gives me extra anxiety, because us as Black people already have anxiety as it is. So just that extra push of like that negativity. Yeah, I hate to see it. And it's crazy how that was entertainment, you know, back then. We were just toys, and we were just, you know, looked at as not human. That shit is, you know, sad. It's so sad. So I see what we're fighting for today when it comes to the, you know, certain group. Right now it's the police that think that Black folks are just toys and not human. So it's just coming full circle, and I'm glad, you know, it won't have to be like that ever again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's your generation that's out there. What you saying? What you say, Black Ryan?
I want to say something. I think it's 2 things that we need to do as people. Period. We need to vote, and we need to educate ourselves. I mean, there's just, those are things that are going to empower us forever. That our people have fought for as rights forever. So I don't care how old you are, you can go back to school and learn something that's good for your people that you can bring back to you. It might be. We gotta educate ourselves further. We gotta vote. I mean, it's never been so much turmoil in the country right now under one president. Period.
Oh well,
never.
I wouldn't necessarily.
I mean, look. If you really want to go back,
agree with that. There's been some turmoil.
If we going, look. Let's say in the last 20, look, in the 40 years of my life. Hold up. Let me clarify that. 40 years. You could go back to Reagan, Carter, Gerald Ford. He was before me. Look, come on, man. This is ridiculous.
Okay. Wait a minute now. Let's hatch this out now. Let's hatch this out real quick. Okay. Ronald Reagan.
Period.
Cocaine.
A lot of bad stuff, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I know what I'm saying. Cocaine to fund the Contra-Iran scandal.
Come on, man.
Biden.
Grab her by the coochie, man.
But wait a minute now. Biden pushes through the crack laws of the 80s.
Apologize.
He made it 100 to 1.
This dude don't even apologize. Look.
Let me finish. No, I'm finished. We're gonna discuss it out. We're gonna discuss it out because it's important for the people to hear that hip hop people or people who do hip hop is on it, right? So look, 100 to 1.
He apologized.
Crack cocaine.
He apologized.
He apologized, but he put so many people in jail. Then he comes back a decade later in the 90s under Clinton and does and pushes through the 3 strikes. It took so in the 80s, Reagan brings in the cocaine. It's turned into Ready Rock, turns Black women into strawberries. He passes the Biden helps to push through in the Senate, and then it gets ratified in the House, and vice versa, gets to push through the crack laws, which is 100 to 1. which put more black men into jail, so they could have had 1 or 2 strikes already coming home. Decade later, he does the 3 strikes.
Right.
Black man gets the 3rd strike. He's away from his family for 25 years, 30 years, maybe life. Right? So this is what this man.
I don't
did,
agree
right?
with that. I don't agree with nothing he did in the 80s and in the early 90s,
in the 90s,
bro.
right?
I don't agree with
my thing is.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with none of that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So this
you know
man,
what I'm saying? He was wrong.
Right. But he does not admit that he was wrong. He doesn't admit.
He said he was wrong for that.
No. He hasn't admitted it. He says you know who he brought up? The Congressional Black Caucus. He said the Congressional Black Caucus wanted him to do that. And, you know, in a way that was true because the older generations didn't look out for the younger generations of black people.
Younger generation.
That's the truth, right? That's the truth, right? And so here he is. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't say it. Which one is worse? I'm going to ask each one of them. Which one is worse? The one that you know that is a racist that may have in his hotels and his properties was bigoted and prejudiced against black people getting into his properties or being hired, or the one who passed the laws that destroyed the black community for all of these decades leading into now where we're just now starting to recover? Which one's worse as a bigot? Because which one I'm going to vote for? Satan or the devil? Which one's worse?
I want look, seeing cast the first stone, so everybody coming with some baggage. Flat out, both of them dudes. However, one of them dudes is repenting.
Who?
The other of them dudes is going to continue. I said is repentant. I didn't say he repented. I said he's repentant, meaning that he got baggage. He got a chance to change this shit. This dude that's in right now, this cornball.
Yeah.
You look at what he was gonna do on Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. In Tulsa, like it wasn't nothing.
That's symbolic, though.
Symbolic. Of course.
No, right. So we're talking about tangible action.
We're
talking about tangible action.
Bro, when all the people in the Army and the Navy said they'll change the names of these racist Confederate forts and shit, Fort Hood, Fort Benning, all them dudes, they said the person that's against it, Trump. The person that's against taking down statements from the Confederacy, Trump. Come on, man.
Symbolic. It's all symbolic.
I will give Biden a chance to repent for his sins. I will repent for his sins of yesteryear by getting my vote. You know what I'm saying? This dude that is constantly showing you his hand. I am the devil. I am the devil. I am the devil.
Okay. So you're saying he's the devil.
Everybody made mistakes.
That means Biden is Satan.
But how about right now is the time where Biden should be giving his platform?
Biden got to show it.
I'm waiting for Biden to give a platform for him right now. Like, it's time. This is the time now for him to, like, seriously step up. Talk about policy. If you want my vote, if you want my community's vote, don't pander to me. It's beyond the pandering now. That's why I'm glad some young ones out there doing what they doing. Because it's not about talk no more. We need some tangible.
Right.
True that.
Right. Yeah.
And I agree with that.
I ain't never been in.
You see,
never in my life
I've
been given $1,200.
You privy to Cleveland conversation, Ceemo. we get in and we go at it.
We was discuss. Look in the store talking about issues and stuff.
That's a Cleveland conversation. You'd be like, well, how come Crazy Dee be going hard? Because that's a Cleveland thing. We go hard. We be deaning. If we talking about religion, we talking about politics, we talking about social structure, hip hop, we going at it. You know what I mean? We go in, and at the end of the day, it's all we kick it and still do it, but we go in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear that. That means you're passionate about it, and I definitely agree with what you're saying, Black Friday. You too,
you want me to write you in for president?
Crazy Dee.
No, don't write me in. I'm not a tricketician. I'm not a tricketician. I'm just for the people. What'd you say, Ceemo?
I said, yeah, Crazy Dee for president, man.
No. That's Eric B. Man. That's Eric B for president, not Crazy Dee. Go ahead.
I was saying that I definitely agree with you, Black Ryan, and what you were saying as well, Tracey. It's like, yeah, you know, figure out the person who actually did know what they did wrong and try to right the wrongs. But at the end of the day, don't pander me and don't say, oh, if you're not voting for me, then you're not really black. Like, because I was with Obama. You got to show us something different than you was with Obama. Come on. You're like, okay, we get it, but you're not Obama. We know Obama. First, you were just there. So, you know, it's definitely time to show and prove. I think recently what he talked about that was really good. He said people want to defund the police, right, in certain states. I think he was saying we don't need to necessarily do that. He was saying we need to necessarily I forgot what he said. He said we need to necessarily do something else with it instead of defund the police. Kind of just make them have stricter code, you know, when it comes to the police code and what you honor as a policeman. Just, you know, ban the choke codes, ban the knock and enter without a warrant, the warrants that just let you enter without knocking. My bad. The warrants that just let you enter without knocking. Like, you know, we got to put those things in place because at the end of the day, people need the police because they call on the police for certain types of things. And we know, Crazy Dee, me and you know a retired cop, and we know at the end of the day they're, you know, trying to live. Some of them are good people, but we got those bad apples. But at the end of the day, he says something. You know, he says something right. The way we can kind of structure and control the police code, and you know what's not allowed as a policeman, policewoman.
You know, to me, there are no good cops unless they are going in and informing on those that are doing evil things, right? There's no good cop unless they're doing that. They can be nice and we can be family members and that same police officer that you were talking about that we know some of the stories that he would tell would be kind of, I don't know if that was necessarily so good for the black community. But let's move on.
No, but you know, when Sunny on The View, she used to be, I don't know what, a prosecutor,
yeah.
And she was saying that when they say defund, they're saying not totally like take all of the money from the department and lay off police officers. She said they're not saying that. They're saying not to give like 90% funding, maybe like take a percentage of the money and put in the police departments like social workers and stuff. Because like the police was saying that there's social workers as well as law officers. So it's a lot to take on. So they was just saying, well, in order to help the police out, let's use some of that money for social services. Like for certain calls, if you have a social worker or a few social workers that work in the police department that can go out on certain cases, you know, domestic abuse, someone that's mentally ill, somebody that can help de-escalate. So the whole defunding, they said that people are kind of taking that definition wrong, thinking that people are saying let's just completely abolish the police department, when that really isn't the case. So I want Trump out of there too. And I'm for Biden too, but I just give me like more. Because I voted for Obama twice, right? So I wish that I wasn't so
Yeah,
complicit, and when he was in
free
office,
pass.
I wish I should have been like pushing these different policies, like other groups did when Obama was in office. You know, I mean, I was complicit with just the image of Obama. So now I'm like, okay, that was a mistake I made. So now we have Biden. He wants our vote. This is what we need. So
these are the demands. We need some demands. We need you to put your policies out there.
Because right now, this is for Biden to win. Look at all of those protesters out there. None of those people are voting for Trump. All of those people are going to be voting for Biden.
And people who probably have never voted before are now going to start to really use their voice to make a change. People that were like sitting back talking about, I want this to change, I don't like this, but they never went out and voted. Now they're going to vote, and it's going to be a big change. It's going to be a good outcome. It's going to be a good outcome by the end of this year. You know, by the end of this year, we do got to get them out of office.
The only thing I'll say is that we know who to fight against when a Republican is in there as black people. As American black people, we know who to fight against. But when a Democrat gets in there, we seem to not be able to fight against them as strong. If we're going to do this, if we're going to actually vote for Biden, then we're going to keep the pedal to the metal on him, like we're putting the pedal to the metal just because one is covert, one is overt. Just because Trump is overt don't mean that we shouldn't keep the pedal to the metal on the covert one, which is Biden, if we're going to do this.
Well, Biden said he's for giving us reparations.
As long as the Native Americans gets it too.
I was about to say, what about the 300,000? I think about that.
That's great.
600,000.
The Native Americans got to get it, along with don't they have casinos? Don't they have land that they could build on, reservations? If black people had land and casinos, do you know what we would be doing right now?
Yeah, man, you know.
We wouldn't be sitting on a reservation talking about people coming on there violating us. We'd be on there building stuff. We'd be running them casinos. Bringing in the bread, Jack. That's what we be doing, right? But anyway, so let's move back to hip hop. Great conversation, fellas. Loved it. What is for the people out there? What is the grind like for an aspiring hip hop artist that wants to be out there, make their music pop, to be able to feed their family? So that's what they do for a living.
I think it's about you definitely got to adjust. It's about adjusting, and it's about looking for the trends. You know, you got to be trendy, you got to be relevant, and then you got to have good content as well. So that goes into it. And then while you're hustling out there, what we don't have right now, which we need badly, is the live shows. Like it's going from Vegas. It's from going to back to Oakland. It's from going back to New York. It's going to Atlanta, and it's from going, just Ohio. It's about going there touring. You can't tour right now though, but it's a mix of everything, man. There's a lot that has to go into it. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I think artist needs a dope.
Okay, your sound went out for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
An artist needs a dope videographer.
Okay.
True.
I think you're freezing. He's freezing. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was like turning the screen on.
It's a fact.
Okay, you're going in and out, Black Ryan. Your photo, your picture's gone. And your audio's gone.
Okay,
you're back.
You said what?
Okay, you're back now. Go ahead and finish your point.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
He's a dope video. You could be making terrible. Your music can be absolutely that's really just opinion.
Uh-huh. Oh wow, he's making a good point, but he's going in and out. It's the
Image out there that's undeniable. That's sad.
Yeah, cutting in and out just a little bit.
Yeah,
but I heard the gist of it.
Yeah, we trying to get you, but you're going in and out.
Yeah, your music can.
Oh man, that's.
Right. Your music can be whatever it is because people have different interests.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Wow. I mean, your point. I can tell your point is profound, but let's work on the connection just a little bit, and we'll. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to you. So
I'm gonna try to come.
Okay. So Ceemo, what is it like to be out there on the grind to make it possible for you to be able to feed your family exclusively off of hip hop?
You know, it's definitely like the drive. You know, I want certain things to happen right now. You know, and I know to get to those certain things and to feed my family correctly, I'm gonna have to go above and beyond, and sometimes you may even have to make a sacrifice for a little while to be able to do that. You know, it means everything to me to feed my family. Period. You know, and with hip hop is a great way to express myself, and everyone that meets me say, yo, you got it. You got great potential. You got what you need. You got the videos down. You got the bars down. You got the drive down. Now it's kind of hard to answer the question because the last ingredient I'm like missing, and the ingredient, you know, I gotta go find that ingredient and put it in the recipe because, you know, I feel like independent artists, any independent artist is right there. Black Ryan was just saying what we heard out is that, like, yeah, it's all about anyone's music is all about opinion. Like, we have artists that people hate. We have like a lot of new school artists that people despise, but they have those millions of loyal followers and listeners because they got this content, they got character, and they got good videos. They got weird videos that make people replay and show their friends. So every independent artist can get there. It's like a little ingredient that needs to be in the recipe. Don't even know what it is though.
Okay.
So
can we hear you?
Huh?
Can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Let's get your point out there.
All right.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, I've been listening, and like I was saying, your music can be any range of good or bad because.
Oh my.
Because man, it was there somewhere.
Wow, that's something. That is just incredibly crazy.
Damn.
Going in and out. I don't know. Come forward to the image. Come closer to the camera and speak like that. Maybe it'll stay in. Go ahead.
Okay. Closer to the mic. Hopefully it just okay. Like you right.
A little bit.
You got a 50-50 chance of people liking your music.
Okay. 50-50
or not liking it. That's just opinion. So you gotta.
I feel like that's going to be such a profound.
Once they come in with the visual, follow your.
Okay, so I think what he's saying is that your music is 50-50. Once you come in with the visual, then you follow your conscience as far as what your music is going to be, and people, you're going to build your fan base from that. Is that what you're saying? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said people will follow your concept. Oh, wow, this sucks. Concepts.
Yeah.
Whatever you come with.
Yeah.
Then they want to hear what you got to say. They want to know. They want to see you. They want to see you. Eyes got to see you first. They like what they see. Then they'll listen to what you say.
Yep.
Yes. I agree with
Flat
that.
out. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So
Beyonce sells a lot of records.
Yeah.
She does. She happens to be good.
I love what I see. I love what I see, and I love what I hear. And I love what I see.
Queen B.
Absolutely.
I love what I see, so I love what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So YouTube, the again, the reason why
you know what I'm saying? I give it a chance. My ears give them a chance.
Your ears give it a chance if they hear if they see the visual. I got it. Yeah. We're gonna have to do this again when we can get that connection really tight. You know what I mean? So before we go any further, because we got 3 minutes left in this segment here with you guys, but go ahead, Ceemo, tell us where they can see you, reach you, contact you, purchase your music, all that, see your videos.
Yeah, you could definitely hit me up. My IG is @firstpickc, and that's firstpickCEE, and you can find everything that you need there. Of course, on YouTube, just you can even just Google it, of course, and you'll find every outlet. But YouTube is gonna be Ceemo, CEEMO, and you can definitely find me there. Also, too, it's like you can find Dope Hangouts, the podcast, and More of Everything Media, which is coming with new content. You know, on YouTube, on Instagram. MOEX Media is just the handle. More of Everything Media is definitely, you know, the word and the name. And I appreciate you guys for having me on the platform. You know, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yes,
so
sir. That's me.
That's me. He's got you up, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
He found you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you right back. All right. Let's get it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
shout out to the film review for, you know, making the collabs happen, man. That's the deal. That's what it means when I say no one's got us like us. It's like people. A lot of people don't want to be each other's pillar. A lot of people just want to be at the top of everything, and it doesn't work like that. People don't understand those celebrities, those people that are popping. They actually have a team behind them. They have a team, and people need to know it's all about teamwork, man. If we all we got 1,000 followers, for instance, real quick. We got 1,000 followers. If each of those 1,000 followers hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the repost button, it can help launch somebody's career, it can help launch somebody's business. People just need to start seeing that it's okay just to hit a button, because you see it and you're going to scroll past it anyway. Why not support that person who wants to be the business and who wants to create a partnership? So, you know, if that's the message I can leave, what means for More of Everything Media, that's what it means, man. Let's all just, if we all collaborate, we'll all get to the top, man. We'll be there tomorrow if we all collaborate. That's it.
All right, let's try this, Black Ryan, because I want them to know where they can reach. I'm already tell them, go over to Bandcamp to NASA Boy Entertainment. That's where they can get all of your mixtapes. Just purchase them all 20, with more on the way. So continue on. Let's see if we can keep the connection tight.
His next JG is Black American Dream.
Black American
also
Dreamer.
NASA Boy Ryan on IG. Dreamer.
Black American Dreamer on IG. NASA Boy.
I produce. I do videos.
Go ahead, because it's just. Oh man.
NASA Boy Ryan.
NASA Boy
Ryan coming right up.
Yeah. So we're gonna connect that in. We're gonna have you back on so we can have a connection tighter, because I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought both of you. Everyone that I bring onto the show, I hope that they do some kind of collaboration, because I hear something. When I hear like the connection, what the connection could be, I bring the two people together. So hopefully y'all exchange and be working out, send the MP3s through and work out and connect some things. Because we really wanted to talk to you, Black Ryan, about you traveling and going to Atlanta and Cleveland and Florida and getting into all that, and how you were making connections and how you going about doing that. But we're gonna have you back when we can get the connection tighter, so that we can have non-interruption, so you can put your inspiration across. So right now we're getting ready to move on to the next segment, which is talking about the 5 Bloods. And we thank y'all for coming on.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this again. And we appreciate you.
Crazy Dee, Tracey, appreciate it. I'll be hitting you up, Black Ryan. Adios.
All right.
For sure.
People tuning in on Facebook. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, people. So that was Black Ryan and Ceemo, and we're going to get that connection together, because we got to have Black Ryan back.
Yeah, 2 great rappers.
2 great MCs.
Yes.
MCs.
MCs.
MC. There's a difference. Right? Okay, people. So look, people. The review for tonight is Spike Lee's The 5 Bloods, right? The 5 Bloods. If you have not seen this movie on Netflix yet, I would suggest that you see this movie.
Yeah.
It is very important. It is it is one of the great. Let's go through some of the, before we go through, let's go through some of the comments.
Okay, where's, I have to, let me see if I can.
Centipede said, "What's up, everyone?" He also said, Jones, he was shouting out to Black Ryan. Janine Turner says, right, Biden may be the best of the 2 evils, still make and keep him accountable for policy that can wrongfully affect us. And then Christian Muhammad sent the smiley face. Ceemo, thanks for Ceemo again, and Black Ryan for coming on. We're going to have them back when that connection is there, because there was some information that I wanted to get out there to the people. But anyway, people, so if you have not seen The 5 Bloods on Netflix, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you would be thinking that you would be waiting for, because it is one of the, I put it up there, I want to tell you, I put it up there with Full Metal Jacket, right? Lex the Great on the YouTube says NASA boy in the building, and Lex the Great said Cleveland in the building.
I'm looking for you live on here.
You got to go to the home page. You got to click the page. So if you haven't seen it on Netflix, you have to see this film. I put it up with Full Metal Jacket. It is one of the greatest films produced on the Vietnam War, especially, not just because, but especially because it is based on the Black experience in Vietnam. Right? And the plot, and the storyline, the through line, and the plot of the piece is well put together.
Yeah, it is.
And unlike a certain filmmaker that's supposed to be Spike Lee's mentor, producing that piece called The Irishman.
Oh.
Unlike that,
Can I have
Spike Lee takes the older gentleman and uses makeup to make them look younger.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to say about that, because I don't want to give it away, right? So you have to see this film. We don't want to give it away, right? But plot line.
Okay.
The 4 veterans of the Vietnam War,
Okay.
black veterans of the Vietnam War, returned to Vietnam to find something. I'm not going to give it away, unlike some commentary did on CBS. A real hate job they did there. But they go back to Vietnam to find something. And each character's backstory, which gives context to the character, is explored, right? Right? First of all, they show you how the 4 are involved in the story by showing you a flashback, right? Which ties them all together within the first 10 minutes after they meet in the lobby. I'll tell you that much. After they meet in the lobby, they have a flashback that ties them in within the first 10 minutes of the film. Excellent, beautiful filmmaking, beautiful script writing, the cinematography on it, the score on it, the angles used, the actors and their ability to emote on the screen.
Great cast.
The twists the twists and the turns that the film has. Beautifully done, right? Let's go through the cast.
Okay, starring Chadwick Boseman. He plays Norman, Stormy Norman. Right? Delroy Lindo plays Paul. Jasper Paconin plays Larry Thorne. He plays the Frenchman. The Frenchman, the one who was part of the group.
Yeah, the Frenchman who is part of the group to help them find something. He's an organization that helps people find things.
Yeah, so him. Because there's another Frenchman. If you haven't seen the movie yet, you'll see. You don't want to give anything away, but he's the younger Frenchman.
Okay, right.
Paul Walter Hauser plays Simon. Jonathan Majors, he did a great job too. He played David, Paul's son.
He plays Paul's son.
Yeah. Gene Reno, we talked about him. He's the older Frenchman in the film. But we talked about him being...
He was the negotiator.
Yes.
Back in the 90s.
Yes.
He in a film called The Negotiator, he was the hitman who befriends a young girl and keeps her from being hit.
Yes.
Right? And if you've never seen The Negotiator, you have to see it. Matter of fact, I don't know what exactly happened to his career, because we thought he was kind of like the way Old Boy was before he said something about he wanted to kill a black person for the... what is his name?
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, him. He was kind of like him.
Yeah.
For people who know who it is, Time to Die and Tombstone. Tombstone. What is that? I can't think of his name right now. But anyway.
But the rest of the cast.
Yeah, go on, rest of the cast.
Norman Lewis, he plays Eddie. Melanie Theory. Clark Peters, he plays Otis. He did really good too. You know him from Treme. Also, he was on the show The Wire, right? Isaiah Whitlock Jr. He did a great job too. Played Melvin.
You know him from the movie when he was the police officer and he said, "She," right? That's how you would know him.
And you know what? I didn't see him. They have Giancarlo Esposito. Do you remember?
I think they're wrong on that. They think that we all look alike.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the film.
But Delroy Lindo in this film. Delroy Lindo in this film, his ability on the screen, man.
That one
the
scene.
ability on the screen, it's like there was a culmination that built midway the film,
Yeah.
going into the latter third of the film,
Yeah.
where he's just incredible. And all four
You know
actors,
what?
all five actors are
But
good.
Delroy Lindo's character was like palpable.
Mhm.
Like you can actually like literally feel his emotions.
Mhm.
And then I don't want to give this one scene away in case you didn't see the film.
Mhm.
But there's this one scene and it's just like your eyes just tear up for him. You feel compassion for his character because it's just don't want to give it away, but
yeah, don't give it away.
It's just a powerful scene. The acting is great. I mean, it's just you can really understand where his pain is coming from.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
His role in this piece is pivotal.
Yeah.
And if tears don't come to your eyes, something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
Spike Lee.
Compassion.
Spike Lee, I was looking for certain elements that Spike Lee usually has in his films.
Yeah.
And his choice as a director to work with the cinematographer to bring out certain angles. There's this almost kind of like fish lens, but not quite a fish lens angle, which is on a low, looking up at the actors. I mean, it is incredible. The conflict captured through the images and the acting, the conflict between father and son, the love, you know, that's there.
Friendships, really, the brotherhood, right?
The fractured love.
That too.
Is really captured in this film.
Yeah.
It's like Spike Lee hits so much in this film, right? That is just brought to life about the black experience in general, and put into this setting where these four men come back to find something, right? And within finding something, there's even conflict between modern day Vietnamese.
See, I was getting ready
and
to say that too.
A certain black character in particular. One of the characters in particular, and you're like, why is this going on? Like, what are you doing? You know. So
it's just visually beautiful, like you said. The cinematography is just beautiful.
The images of where they are and what they capture, right? It's an incredible piece.
It is.
So cinematography, 10. The acting of the ensemble, 10. Individual elevation of actors in this piece is individual pieces of the whole, 10. The giving nature between the actors to make sure that the scenes come out. People, they were going for their best, but they weren't necessarily competing. So that even helped to show that they had a genuine love that went way back, you know, back to the 60s, right?
Right.
So the use of compositing in this picture, compositing, what was Lady Hanoi, the female, the Viet Cong, female that was announcing over the radio. And she announced a certain event that took place. While the soldiers are over there, and there was certain things that Spike Lee tells in this story. The information that Spike Lee gives to the viewers who would not know that, because we've been used to looking at Caucasian experience in Vietnam. I'm gonna have to tell this because this is very important. In Full Metal Jacket, there is a scene where the main character is a writer for the news, right? But he's a Marine, but he's a writer. he covers the stories of what's happening in Vietnam. And his buddy, one of his buddies, is the photographer in Full Metal Jacket. He's a photographer, young kid, younger than him, right? Mm-hmm. He might be in his 20s. This kid could be 18, you know, and he's got his camera, but a Viet Cong pulls a pin on a grenade, and he says, "Grenade!" And everybody ducks except for the camera guy goes and jumps on the grenade and takes the full blast. He's dead instantly, right? Come to find out, that is not a story of heroics from Caucasians, but that is a story that's transposed from a heroics of a black soldier that saved his fellow soldiers by jumping on a grenade. This is a grenade. This is the stories that Spike Lee corrects in this film, right? Also, time. Whenever I heard time in any of the Vietnam pictures, I thought that it was a white guy singing it. I had never really thought, you know, I thought it was Andre Crouch, you know, something, not Andre, that's the gospel guy. I forget the guy's name.
Andre Cocker. I mean,
Cocker, that's right, him, Cocker, right. I thought it was him singing, but come to find out, Joe Cocker, right. Come to find out that time is actually sung by a black man. This is stuff that is corrected. This is facts that are corrected in film because the Caucasian has a way of taking things and making you think that they did it, and you don't think twice unless someone comes along to correct the history if you choose not to look further into it. So you find out that it was actually a black man that was actually singing that song. Time.
Yeah.
Right? So the context and the commentary and the facts that he puts into the film without being too preachy. The relationship between the man and a woman that he once knew played out well, and you have to see the film. You have to see the film. The action sequences, some of the best that I've seen on film, right? That's why I put it up with Full Metal Jacket, right? Some of the battle scenes in there are some of the best I've ever seen. And in modern time, well, we're not going to get out of the way, you have to see the film. The through line, that's a 10. The narrative, that's a 10. The script writing and what you could hear in the script, how they describe, you know, when you read the script, you can, and when you watch a film, you actually realize how they describe what you would be seeing in the script. That's a 10, right? And if Lindo doesn't get an Oscar nod, if the young man who played his son doesn't get an Oscar nod for supporting actor, matter of fact, all of them might be in there as supporting actor somewhere.
Because they did a great job.
Right? And then Spike Lee, first of all, you got that ensemble. Then it's introduced into 3 more characters, then 6 more characters, and you're like, all of this is happening in this span of within the time of this film, 120 minutes of this film. I mean, it is incredible. It's miraculous. Spike Lee does his thing with this movie as directing it and bringing it home, right? And the writing on it by the script writers, right?
Great.
And his ability to give leeway to the actors to go in and, how would you say it?
You know, there was a scene, and I don't know if you remember, but I remember saying to you, I love the scene because it's real life. Like the conversation that the friends, you know, were having, and they was laughing and talking. I said, that's just like real life. Like something that you would actually hear one of your relatives or friends say, like the conversation they had, you know.
At the table, the first night.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
the table the first. Well, yeah. See, I'm trying not to give anything away. But what about? I loved when they were singing the Marvin Gaye song.
Yeah. You had to see that.
It's just, I don't know. The music is great. The conversation is great. It was just real. You can tell that it's definitely a brotherhood with the characters.
I mean, everything is totally believable. Even
completely
the sequences that go back in time.
Yeah.
And everything is just believable.
It is, yeah.
Unlike Scorsese's Irishman. I mean, that just wasn't too.
Yeah, because I guess with the Irishman, it was just such a build-up, you know.
It was such a build-up.
Yeah.
We even had someone. We
called
had Tony called
months
over a year before it was coming out.
Way
and
before.
That was in our second season.
Yeah.
No, in our first season, right?
Yeah.
Because we're coming up on the third season. Anniversary, July 5th, 2020 is our 3rd year anniversary of doing the film review. Hashtag tfrpodcastlive. That's right. So did we go through? We know Spike Lee directed it. Can you give me the?
We know Terrence Blanchard did the music.
The Terrence Blanchard. We need to get the script writers. We need to give them credit, right? Real quick, while we're on the show, we got to give them credit because their script writing.
Great.
Doing the Spike Lee joint along with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Was they're noteworthy to be mentioned.
Okay, it says let's see, with screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Wilmot, Danny Balson, and Paul DeMille.
Those three guys, they capture. Right, they capture their.
It says originally written by Danny Bilson and Paul DeMille in 2003. The script was reworked by Spike Lee and Kevin Mullen.
That's right. So Spike, when they say reworked, Spike Lee took what they did. He was a script doctor. That's what they mean by that. Spike Lee is a script doctor because Spike Lee can say, well, they wouldn't quite talk like that because, there's some certain cultural understandings that you might not know, so let me fix it. And so he fixed it, and plus, like he said, he gave the artists, the actors, they're artists, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Lindo, however, should get an Oscar nod for this.
Definitely.
I mean, the waste, everything in the piece, even the, I'll say, supernatural experience that happens in the piece is just, it's totally believable.
The cinematography was done by Newton Thomas Siegel and edited by Adam Gull.
Yes. So we have to give those people credit. Okay. So we ran through all that. All that is a 10. So what would you rate the 5?
Definitely a 10. I mean, for the same reasons. The script, the acting, cinematography, the score, right? The music was great. Costume and design, right? Because it was original. I mean, it looked authentic. Well, I'm sure maybe it was authentic, some of the clothing, But just in the hair and makeup, it was believable. Like you said, the scenes where they showed the main characters younger, it was believable. So, I mean, it was just a great job, and it was well worth the wait, because when I heard that Spike Lee was releasing this film and Chadwick Boseman was a part of the project, and I'm like, okay, when is it coming out? So, and it was well worth the
And
wait.
remember, Chadwick, well, first of all, it's a 10 overall for me for the Five Bloods, something that you have to see, something that's going to go up in the canon as in the top 10 of Vietnam or combat films. This is going up in there. Right? They even did a little jab towards a certain person we know, Rambo. Good.
This is great. Just like I love Spike Lee's other film, Miracle of St. Anna, right?
Yes, that's World War II.
So he did a great job with that.
When the black soldiers liberated France, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to see that film. That gives you context. He's going through each period of time telling these stories, right?
Yep, I was double checked. Yeah, it came out in 2008. And I remember when we went to see it, and we was looking forward to that. And I mean, Spike Lee never disappoints. We've seen all of his films.
Yeah, we've seen all.
And so I was excited about this one. But Delroy Lindo, it was great to see him again because he's such a good actor.
Such a good actor.
And he was also in
Crooklyn and Clockers.
Yeah, he's in a lot of Spike Lee's films.
This was the reunion, right? This film, but Crooklyn and Clockers. If you haven't seen those two films, Crooklyn and Clockers, you have to see those films with Delroy Lindo and its Spike Lee joints. Also, if you have never seen, we keep saying this, if you have never seen the Sweet Blood of Jesus, you have to see that film. You have to see that film. And you also have to see Red Hook Summer. It's like a part 2. It kind of, I noticed that some of the people who aren't Spike Lee watchers, some of the commentators said that whatever happened to Mookie. Well, if you watched Red Hook Summer, they show you, he gives you an update on all the characters that are in Brooklyn, Red Hook, Brooklyn, right within this story. And there is a twist in that story in Red Hook, Brooklyn that you will not, because the first half of the film, we reviewed this. The first half of the film, Spike Lee lets the youth shoot the film. It's basically based on the young man's story in the piece. But the second half of the film, Spike Lee sits down on that film, and you will be shocked with the twist that happened because it comes from out of nowhere, and it also stars
Clark Peters.
He
did great in that also.
Excellent performance, and Nate Parker.
Yeah, Nate Parker.
Nate Parker comes in and delivers the performance of a lifetime, and it's a scene that's about 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah. It happens in the church. Powerful stuff.
Yep, him and Clark Peters.
That's right, and that led us into waiting for the Nat Turner story,
which is a great film also.
But anyway, we're getting.
But you know what? I wanted to say, I just saw his name, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. Was also on Red Hook Summer. See, that's what I love about Spike Lee. He brings his actors back, and they work in all his various projects. And
speaking of Nola Gay, if you watch Red Hook Summer, you'll see Nola Gay return in it, and you follow up on what happens with her in this story. So all of this is Spike Lee brings back. But if you watch She's Got to Have It second season, which I don't know why Netflix canceled that. There should have been a third and a fourth season on that, because Spike Lee had his fingers on the pulse of what was happening in between American blacks and black immigrants coming over into this country, almost being the invasion of the black body snatchers, right? He had his hand on the pulse on that. But there is a storyline where Rosie Perez's character comes back, and Spike Lee kind of reworks the story on Mookie. Yeah. And he changes the time continuum and makes it so that, well, you just have to watch it.
You know what he also brought in Red Hook Summer? He brought Nola Darling's character back too.
That's what I said. Nola Darling. That's what I said. Okay. Nola Darling, right? Yeah. So, and if you watch, She's Got to Have It.
The real, the actress.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, there's the one She Got to Have, the original black and white. Yep. And then there's the one that's on Netflix now. If you watch that, there's a storyline with Rosie Perez's character.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Where they rework it and you find out that Mookie is, but you just have to watch it, right?
Yeah.
You just have to watch it, right? Like if you haven't watched Spike Lee's films, Mo Better, Blues, if you have never seen that film with Denzel, if you've never seen X, you have some watching to do. But you have to watch as Spike Lee went into the digital age with Sweet Blood of Jesus.
Oh yeah.
And Red Hook Summer. When he went into the digital age, where it went from film to digital, you have to watch these films because these films are groundbreaking. If you come across them, watch them. You will not be disappointed. You'll find Mr. Roboto, Robot.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up.
Rosie
Perez, her character's name was Tina and Do the Right Thing, and
then she also comes into. She's got to have it on Netflix. On Netflix, second season.
Yeah.
And we're looking for. Hopefully, they will be able to find a place where they can have a third season, where he can be placed to have a third season, because that acting in that was phenomenal, right?
Yeah. So in The Blood of Jesus, the Oscar-winning actor.
Where you first see him.
Yeah, Rami Malek.
Yeah, Rami Malek.
Yeah,
right.
It's from that film, The Blood of Jesus.
And it was just so happened that the year that he won,
he played Freddie Mercury, right?
Right. So the year before he won the Oscar, and then didn't he announce Spike Lee's Oscar? No, he won the same night.
He won the same night.
night.
Samuel Jackson.
And Samuel Jackson announced his Oscar.
Spike Lee's Oscar.
But he won the same night, and he was up there, and we were looking at that. I wonder if he's going to say something to Spike Lee, because Spike Lee is the one who really introduced him to. But anyway, another story.
And Elvis Nolasco was in the Sweet Blood of Jesus,
and he's also in. Nola Gay. No. On the Netflix.
Oh, She's Got to Have It. On She's Got to Have It.
He plays the person that's been displaced as they're re-gentrifying
the neighborhood.
Yeah. And I wrote about him on my consciousness page on FB, right?
Yeah. And he responded.
And I talked about him being up and coming because he's also in
Godfather Harlem. Right.
You see how all this ties in to what Spike Lee is doing. You see how that's what Ceemo was talking about earlier about people connecting and working together, and that's how people are catapulted or rocketed because they all work together. Okay, people. So you have to see the Five Bloods. Yeah. Excellent picture, right? Yeah. Now,
it's one of those movies that you can watch over and over because I'm watching it again.
Yeah, watching it again. So look, people, 1846.
Yes.
18 minutes and 46 seconds. Yeah. That's how long it took for that officer, which will remain nameless, to basically suffocate, strangle out George Floyd with a cockney, which we have said comes from the training that the Israeli police are teaching police officers, which is a sinister circle because it all starts with the patty rollers. So go back and watch our episode 115 where we lay it out to you. Then later, 2 weeks later, it comes out in the news and in print in an English-based newspaper that the Israelis are training American police departments, right? And so when you see, I've seen that knee. We talked about when we've seen the knee before, and that it seems like it's a universal thing. Yeah. And the Israelis are doing the training, right? So that's what it is. Now, people.
Oh, did we talk about? Oh, go ahead. You're talking about
1846. 18 minutes and 46 seconds. That's what it took for that beast, that animal, that savage, to squeeze the air out of George Floyd, right? Dave Chappelle has a special that went straight to YouTube through Netflix called 1846. Now, why that is so so important to him is that is the time that he was born. 1846. So Dave Chappelle is seeing this, and this is like a psychological, this is like a zeitgeist is hitting at him, and he puts this special together. He practices social distancing in his city in Ohio. The people come out, they're well spaced out. They have their mask on. They have their Chappelle mask on. Each one was provided with a mask if they didn't have one. Right? And he practices social distancing, and he's up there for about 27 minutes and some seconds. It's a special. He's not really cracking jokes. There are some situations, certain places in there that you will laugh, but he is not cracking jokes. And this is the most perplexed, but mentally just complex that I've seen Dave Chappelle. Usually he's complex with the humor, but this right here, he puts this down and he lets you know that he has angst about what he's seeing. Because not only was that the time that he was born, right? But earlier in the year, when he was winning an Oscar, he didn't show up because Kobe Bryant had passed. And when they put Kobe's jerseys up, 8 and 24 as a tribute with the basketball hoop, well, that's Dave Chappelle's birthday. So this is perplexed. So this is a whole zeitgeist thing here. But you're still, what I'm telling you, you will not, I'm not telling you the full context of what he's saying. So this will not destroy your viewing pleasure of this. You have to watch this. This is a tour de force of being able to bring people together in such a short time period and getting across exactly what you want to say within that confined time period and put it across in a way that the person is still entertained, but they're educated, they're edutained. Right? But it's not comedy. But there are funny moments. Because what we're going through right now is not something that is, we often say it, but the white supremacists is going through their last gasp. Their birth rates are down. They're afraid of America becoming and the world becoming truly, well, it's already a majority, but they're afraid of the United States becoming a majority black country, right? So they're afraid of that. So they're working tooth and nail. That's the psychology. And if people have to catch up and read the ISIS Papers by Francis Cress Welsing, right? You have to catch up and read that book. Now you can go probably on the Kindle and get it, or get excerpts from it and read it, right? Or if you don't want to read, then you can go on ahead and get Hidden Colors, because Hidden Colors 1, she's in Hidden Colors 1, and he breaks that down. But back in the 90s, we had to go to the library. Matter of fact, it wasn't in the library. We had to, we would be in the cultural center, and people would be coming by selling the book. You also get Carter G. Woodson's Miseducation of the Negro. These are books that you have to read to know what is going on, right? The Leviathan 666 book, another great book that you would need to know what's going on with the cell phones. Everything about the cell phones that they, that we're doing today was talked about in that book back in the 90s.
Yeah. Some of my books were given away.
And then it was thrown away, huh? We didn't know that it was going to get thrown away because it was sacrilege. But anyway, look, people. So look. These are times where there's no time to let the pedal off the metal. Right. If you're going to go with Biden, right? My thing is, which one are you voting for, Satan or the devil? Black Ryan said that Biden was Satan, so that makes Trump the devil, right? Which one's worse, Satan or the devil or Satan? Which one's worse, right? Biden gets on television and says that the Native Americans should get part of reparations, black reparations. I thought they had the treaties, and they have the land, and they have the casinos, and they seem pretty straight. We're talking about, the price tag was $17 trillion. But I saw an article that came over the internet, and they said that the price tag has went up to $51 trillion. That's a considerable jump, and they were saying that it could bankrupt America. Well, America has to pay up, right? It comes down to, I like what the lawyer for Rashard Brooks said. Rashard, dead at 27, trying to get to his daughter's birthday party, just fell asleep in line. And have you seen the videotape? CNN and MSNBC are not showing you the full context, but at least MSNBC did mention the full context, that he was congenial with the officers. He even offered, can I leave my car under your supervision? I will walk. My sister's house is right up the street, a couple of blocks up the street. I will go there and then come back and get my car. No compassion, because they can't understand human.
Right.
They're animals. Okay,
and then how about the guy patting them down and then questioning him about the amount of money?
That's right. What's that you got in your pocket? Now,
that's a lot of money.
He was like, what's that? He must all ones, huh? Now, that is a reference to Atlanta strip clubs. He was trying to be funny. Really? He was trying to be funny. That was really bitchy shit. That was a bitch move right there. Being funny. Oh, just you probably got a lot of ones, huh? That was an asshole. That's the jealousy.
Yeah, clearly.
That black men work hard enough to be able to go to the strip club and then flip money to black women so that they can be all right.
Right.
So they can go through college, can open up their businesses, huh? Right. That's hate. Hate all around the board. Then he's talking, and then he says, why would you want to park? The other officer said, why would you want to park your car?
Right.
Now, he said he had a drink. Obviously, we got to see what the breathalyzer said. Because the breathalyzer, he said he had 1 or 2 drinks. If the breathalyzer was under point something, then they had no justification to arrest him because they just thought he had too much to drink.
Right.
Do you understand?
You know what? The thing about it is what I didn't like, and I had to tweet them. So CNN, they edit the piece, and they don't show the complete, full video, right? So they edited so you saw the cops talking to Mr. Brooks briefly, and then he starts running. So, but then when you told me about this other video and I saw the complete video, the conversation they had. I can walk, and then the police officer making like a rude comment about the amount of money in this pocket, just all of the silliness. And, I did tweet CNN and I said, well, why didn't you show the full video? And I said, this is the reason why the community, they don't like you, because you don't give fair coverage, right? And so, but fast forward a few hours later, we were able to see, I saw it on MSNBC.
Yeah, but they still didn't show you where he was talking. They mentioned it. They
They
mentioned that
didn't
he
show
was
it.
talking congenially because the guest who said that he had watched the full 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute video, yo. They stood out there with him for a long time talking before they went into
And
bitch
of course,
mode.
they're not going to show the 40-minute video, but show the scenes where, he did, well, they edited quite well on the internet.
Yeah, they
Hollywood
showed you-
Unlocked did an
they
excellent
did an
job
excellent
editing
job.
it,
Absolutely,
like within a
absolutely.
couple of seconds.
You get the meat
You
of
get
the
the meat
judge.
of it. So why couldn't CNN do that?
Why couldn't they?
And
Because
then-
they're about sensationalism, and that's why they got graffiti and got. And if, like I said, like we said back in episode 115, if that had been a real something, an explosive that had some concuss, them officers would have been down. That wasn't a firework like it was. Those officers would have been down because they were standing there. The one had moved like this, bracing, and then when it didn't explode, he or she moved their hands away, and boom, it blew up. Then big smoke. If there had been more concuss, they would have been down and out for the count permanently. So this is we can't take our foot off it.
We
go
can't.
ahead.
Not to cut you off, but let's go back to the Biden and the reparations really fast, right?
Okay.
So, Obama, right? He was praised for actually delivering his pledge to the Native Americans. He pledged to give them, the reparations. He was praised for actually delivering on his pledge in multiple ways, including the announcement of $492 million in lawsuit settlements with 17 American Indian tribes for alleged federal mismanagement of their funds and lands. The government holds, well, it held, because this is back in 16. Obama took care of all of this for him, but the government did hold more than 100,000 leases to manage about 56 million acres of tribal lands, rich in mining, timber, and oil resources that historically had been exploited at the tribe's expense. But what Obama was able to do, he settled, right? He gave them a settlement. The settlement was the latest in the administration's resolution of more than 100 tribal claims, some of them a century old, at the cost of $3.3 billion. So that's when Obama was in office. So when I heard Joe Biden said that, I said, Joe Biden must not have known that. When Biden said, well, okay, so I'm for reparations, but you have to also include, he said, Native Americans. And then I thought about it. I said, Obama gave Native Americans reparations. So Biden must not have remembered.
No,
So that's when I
or
pulled this
it's
back
just
up
that
again.
they are not going to give the whole program
This is-
of the United States government.
This I got this from New York
hold on.
News.
Okay, New York News.
Right.
The whole point of
New York Times.
New
I'm
York
sorry.
Times. The whole point of the United States government is not to give black people, American blacks, anything, to strip away our rights as what was once a protected class, to strip it away, to practice benign neglect that came from Nixon. Then every president, and Obama really practiced benign neglect. Everything he did was symbolic. Cool. I mean it's not cool, but symbolic. It was benign neglect, right? And so this is what we're going through, and we find ourselves in this, and we can't take our foot off the pedal. We have to keep pushing. I put up the video from Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of. The same one who worked forces are the same ones that burn crosses. The same ones who work forces are the same ones that burn churches.
Yeah.
They're telling you that.
Right.
Now that's unfinished business, and we want to tell the young people, just like the lawyer said for Rashard Brooks, Justin Miller. Just like he said, I'm for the flesh and blood. I'm for the family. I'm for that person.
Yeah.
And I could care more, but I don't, for the property. Want to know why? Because police are to serve and protect owners and property. They're not to protect and serve the citizen. Citizen has to fend for himself. So when you're calling the police, actually, this is what this means. When you're calling the police, you're actually putting your life in your own hands or in their hands, because their whole thing is to protect property first and owners first. That's their job. So being that you don't know that and you think they're there to, and the rest of the way they're there to police you, like they did during the slave patrols. They're there to police you and keep you in line, but they're there to protect the property. So when you hear the people on the TV, why are they destroying the property? Human life is more important. You want to know
and they
why?
have insurance. Okay?
That's it. Because they have insurance.
You can't bring a life back, but you can bring the Wendy's building back.
You can bring it back.
You can bring it back.
And best believe they were making a lot of money. The franchisee will go to the franchisor, and the franchisor will then put that on their what you would call their lease and build it back out again.
Right.
And the business will be there again.
Right.
It's only the independent businesses that don't come back. But those corporate structures, so keep on letting those anarchists, who are mostly Caucasians, let them keep on burning. You just keep on being out there with peaceful protests, and when you start seeing the burning, you just move on to another location to keep on peaceful protesting, because that aspect of it is what's getting the peaceful protests listened to.
Yeah.
Is the burning and the looting. But guess who's not doing that? Guess who's not spray painting Black Lives Matter because they're making their own signs saying what they want to say, right? Who are the minority of people who are out there doing the looting and the burning? And, some people follow along. Some people are going to be followers, but the majority of the minority that are doing it are anarchists that are white. So let them keep on doing that, because that's getting noticed, because they realize that their wagon is hitched closer. They finally learned, because there is no union structure out there anymore. And believe me, when you hear this later, this is all going to come up in the news cycles later, though. Everything that we talked about today probably be a week and a half coming later, and because the media is behind. But what we're telling you is true. There's no union structure really anymore. So they're realizing, unlike before, where the rich power structure could tell them that they're just like them, they're learning now that their wagon is more hitched with those who have traditionally been at the bottom of the rung, even though we built this boy, right? And we're looking for, I was liking that 17 trillion, but I like that 51 trillion price tag even more, because that 51 trillion probably leads into reparative justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The programs that go along with the check. There's a check, there's some programs that's going to go along with it, some land that you can go build on. I'm telling you, if we were Native Americans and there's a documentary or there's a film where the white racist is talking about how dormant, unlike the African, how dormant the Native Americans are. They sit and they're dormant, right? And this is their perspective on it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's true or not, but it would appear so, because if we had reservations and we had casinos, those things would be popping.
Yeah.
Yo, it wouldn't be nobody coming in taking advantage of our women. It's our land. And, you're not coming in and doing that. If black people had that, so we're looking at something like what they did for the Jewish people for the Holocaust. We're looking for fertile land, not land that's all dried up. And even if it's dried up, it's probably some oil under there. And no, you're not going to be able to get the oil. We're going to have control of that, right? Oil, a land, it could be dry land and have oil under it. Fertile land also, so we can plant and grow and do all that. And then the different programs, right?
Yep.
Free land so we can build housing, because that's how they got free land, by having money to buy property. What was the property? Us. And they gave them free land to work the land, to bring about a crop that would help to be able to sell over. That's the history, right? So we need that, and we need that check. That's right, including the check. And for all those people who believe that black people will do nothing but spin it all up, and they will spend. Let's take what's his name from BET, formerly president of BET, Bob Johnson.
Bob Johnson. Yeah.
He says $350,000 to each person who's a descendant of a slave. Right, $350,000. That's very low, being that the price tag is actually $51 trillion. Right, that's pretty low. But let's just say that after everybody finished paying off their bills, let's say it took $100,000 to pay off the bills, then they would have $250,000 to invest and do with what they wanted to do, right?
Right.
If the people gave that back, this is a capitalist society, which there is employees and there are owners and entrepreneurs, right, who will employ employees, and it will still build the structure of the black community on land that is free, like it was free when we were property and we didn't get none. Right? So that's what it is. And this whole thing is fictitious anyway. Yeah. They can keep cutting money.
They do it every day.
The money, and then they could cut all of it and start all over, and people will be better for it. They will have the money in the bank, and they could cut all that, because all this is fictitious. All the debt is fictitious. All the stuff that's on the stock market, all that is inflated fictitiousness. What you build and what you do that's tangible is what's real. Everything else is fake, so they can start all this over.
Right.
Because that's what it's going to have to come down to, people, really. It's going to come down to this, because if everybody's in this pandemic, and everybody is, the second, third waves are going to come through. This is not going to be over until around 2021, if then, right? And so all this, they're going to have to forgive debt, and they're going to have to give up what they thought they owned, because nothing is going to work. The pandemic is the thing that came that made it impossible for the system to keep running. Mark my words on that. The pandemic is what came that made it impossible for the system to keep running. So they can cut all the money, everybody pay their bills off, then they can just cut everything, know that everything starts over. Or they can just cut the money, keep people sustained, then wipe away all the debt because it's fictitious, wipe away the what different countries think they own in America, wipe all that away, and start over with a clean slate. They could do that because it's all based on, it's not based on anything. It's not based on any type of precious metal. It's not based on any type of precious gem. It's not based on property anymore. That was us. It's not based on oil. Oil is just one of those fictitious it's tangible, but it's fictitiously priced. It's all fictitious. Right? So, but you know what's not fictitious? Them murdering us in the streets because we're no longer property. And they're doing the same things that they did when property dared to be free.
All over
And that's
again.
what they're
Right.
doing with these slave patrols. That's
Right.
what they're doing where they shoot first,
Right.
dead or alive, they
Right.
still get their pay.
Right.
That's what it is. people.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to keep pushing and emphasizing how serious this is. Like,
That's right.
this is serious.
No matter who's in office, if it's
This is
Biden
serious.
or Trump, at least we know what we're dealing with Trump. But if Biden gets in there, we're going to put the pedal to the metal because he caused all this. He's the reason. And he's not repenting. By no way. He's trying to pass the buck, right? So people look. He's passing the buck. So if he gets in there, we're going to keep the pedal to the metal because Biden, because Obama was a disappointment. Because when Obama looks at this, people, when he looks at this, he says, I didn't stop this. Obama could have stopped this. That's how you know we're going through the same things. And they were killing. That was the killing fields in 8 years of President Obama, right?
Right.
So he looks at this and he didn't do what he could have done because of fear. And you can look at him. He looks thin and emaciated. He looks gaunt.
Right.
I mean, that's eating him up. Like Jackie Robinson got ate up for what he had to take when he was playing baseball. Right? Here he is, the leader of the free world, and he wasn't free to correct things. But he corrected things for everybody else.
Right.
But he didn't correct anything for the people who he most looked like. That, you know what that is, people? That would be considered self-hate. But who am I? We're just the host. Who are we? We're just the host of the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, society podcast. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy Dee.
I'm Tracey.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, society. And we like to thank Black Ryan
Yes.
and
Yep.
Ceemo
Yep.
for
Thank
stopping by.
Yeah.
We like to thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in
Yeah.
to this great episode 117.
We have to have them back.
We
they
have to have them back so we can
talk
really have a
politics and
discussion
stuff. Yeah.
because the connectivity,
Yeah.
we need that tight,
Yeah.
right? Because that discussion was going to be phenomenal, right? So we're going to have them back.
Yeah.
And we like to tell you, make sure to see The Five Bloods and see 1846 by Dave Chappelle on Netflix, YouTube.
Yeah.
And again, this has been the Film Review, movies, music, culture, politics, society podcast. And we will see you next week on another great episode. And we're out. Till next week.
The Film Review, movies, music, culture, politics, society podcast, interviews, movie reviews, and more. Live Sundays at 5:30 p.m. on the Film Review Live channel. Subscribe.
Hi, this is Bernadette Stannis, Thelma from Good Times, and you're watching the Film Review.